Hello and welcome, guys, to a video format of the SGFC. Weird, I know, but welcome. I am the usual host of the SGFC podcast, Greg. Joining me is my co-host and younger brother, Seb. There he is in the flesh. How are you doing, Seb?
I'm okay. A little bit nervous at actually being on camera with this face, but otherwise
Yeah,
okay.
your lighting is pretty atrocious, but yeah, we'll roll with it. We'll see what we can do in post. Probably not a lot because I don't know how to edit stuff. And joining us for our first real video content is Sebastian North of the Campfire Football Podcast, someone we've collaborated with before on plenty of episodes. You can head down into the description below, and all his links will be there. Seb, number two, how are you doing this fine evening?
Very excited to trim the fat on this obese Chelsea squad.
Yeah, there's a lot of fat. Obviously, if you've read the title, this is the SGFC and Campfire Football fix Chelsea. It's been a miserable season. We're all Chelsea fans, regrettably. And we've kind of had enough. A 12th place finish after, what was it, £700 million spent. We've decided that the Chelsea board and the recruitment team aren't doing a good enough job. So we're going to take their place. Campfire Seb will be playing the role of Todd Bowley, as he has the credentials of being American. That's his only credential, unfortunately, but it's as good as we've got. I am going to be one of the other directors at Chelsea, Egbali, I believe his name is. And Seb, who are you going to be? The head of recruitment, I believe.
Lawrence Stewart.
Lawrence Stewart. You can see here we have a very exhaustive list of Chelsea players. These are all the Chelsea players, I think, made an appearance this season. Are we ready, guys, to keep the players we need to keep to bring Chelsea back to the level they're meant to be? Are we ready to, as Seb put it, cut the fat?
Yes, let's do this.
This needs to happen. It must be done.
Yes, and I think we are beyond qualified to do it as three long-suffering Chelsea fans. Seb, as playing Todd Bowley, where do you think you want to start?
The old owner, who shall not be named, he left me with a real problem with goalkeepers.
Okay.
We've got a really big guy and a really small guy, and one seems to have good feet and the other one seems to have good hands, but I can't decide who's the big and good goalie and who's the smaller. I just don't know. We've got to start there. And then there's an Italian guy, I think, who never ever plays. I don't know why you guys have three goalies. Why do we do that? Why do we pay three goalies?
Okay,
let's figure this out.
Seb, you will know this from our countless podcasts together. I hate third goalies. They are the most pointless position in the world. Like, you pay someone 20 grand a week to never get near the pitch. It's ridiculous.
There is a reason why Chelsea do it, especially. You might remember years and years ago where Cudicini ended up biting his tongue off. And then in the same game, Czech fractured his skull and we didn't have another goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. So that is quite literally the reason why Chelsea have a third goalkeeper, just in case it happens again.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be bad for it to happen twice, surely.
This is Chelsea.
That is true. It's been that kind of season. I mean, yeah, we have to make a decision, really. We've got three keepers and the youth goalkeeper, Selena, the USA guy. I assume we can all agree and put him out on loan as he just needs some game time.
Well, he's been looking really good in the under-20 World Cup. So I'd like to keep him around. He's actually one of the signings that we made when our Bowley era sort of took over. We've got to talk about this Bettinelli guy. Not sure where he fits in. And then can we make one goalie out of Edouard Mendy and Kepa? Is that possible? Just make one out of the two?
It would be the perfect combination because they both had their opportunities this season. Mendy more at the start, and then Kepa after Mendy got quite a bad shoulder injury. Bettinelli, I've got a very personal hatred towards this guy. I used to work in a very high-end fireplace manufacturer that will not be named, and he was a client. Very rude. His girlfriend slash wife, also extremely rude as well. So I have a personal vendetta against him and hate the fact he's at Chelsea. So we're not going to talk any more about him because I'm making the executive decision and putting him sell now for that simple reason. You know, sorry, do you guys want to keep Bettinelli? Is this a guy that we want to have around Stamford Bridge?
As a Chelsea fan, I think we should have 3 goalkeepers. So I guess we're keeping Salino.
Okay, yes, I'm happy with that.
We've got to keep the young man as at least a third choice, if that's what we do.
If that means I can get rid of Bettinelli, I'm happy to do it. Kepa, Mendy, where do you guys both stand on these guys? Because they both have been first choice keepers in the last couple of seasons, but we do need to really make a first choice and have one as the sub.
This is a tough one. As much as I hate him, I think we have to keep Kepa because we're never going to offload him.
Like, why do you hate him?
And he's crap.
He's not crap though, is he?
He is crap. Like, for a Chelsea standard goalkeeper, he's crap. But we have to keep him as a second choice because no one's going to buy him. That's what I'm saying. Mendy should go because he's easier to shift.
Okay. And Campfire, Seb, what are your feelings here?
Well, if we can get some money for Edouard Mendy because he did win a Champions League, that would be a good start. So if we can get some money back for him, that'd be great. I think we should purchase a new first goalkeeper, a new number 1, and we should sell Kepa as a field player. Yeah, he's good with his feet. I think he might be a good midfielder. I agree. He will. We will probably have to pay him to leave as a goalkeeper. So let's sell him as a right winger or something.
Right. I will point out that Kepa won save of the season in the Premier League. Just putting that out there. I mean,
it's true. 3 times. He didn't really say.
We can add that in a highlight reel, and hopefully someone will bite.
Right. Okay. So we're thinking. What are we thinking then? Do we want to keep both of them and then, or sell Mendy and then look for a new first choice and keep Kepa? What do we reckon?
I'm definitely down for selling Mendy and Kepa. I'd sell if we can.
Concurred. If we can sell both, we sell both and we get a better one.
I mean, okay, let's do it. Todd Bowley and head of recruitment have spoken. Let's get rid of both of them and we sign some keepers.
As it stands, we have one 18-year-old goalkeeper at the club.
Yeah, but it can't be that hard to find an elite level goalkeeper in Europe, right? And it's probably really cheap to get one.
Yeah.
Bowley era, baby. Let's have some fun.
Let's move to the overinflated defense of Chelsea. Now, SGFC, Seb, are there any defenders right now that we want to put in the untouchable bar?
Thiago Silva and Badiashile and Fofana.
All 3 centre-backs?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. Thiago Silva is beyond world class. He has to stay. Badiashile looks very good, and so does Fofana. Like, what would be the point in getting rid of them? They're up and coming. They'll be fine.
Yep, we bought Fofana, we bought Badiashile. Those 2 are players for the future on 67-year contracts, so they have to be at the club. And Thiago Silva has only 1 year left on his deal. If we could use some anti-aging technology to get him to stay for longer, we would. But he will be here for 1 more year, and then we'll go. Reece James and Ben Chilwell, I would also add into the untouchables category if you consider them defenders. They might be, there's something else. But those 2, I would add. And we love Fofana and we love Badiashile.
Yes.
And we love Thiago Silva too.
Yeah, I mean, I think Thiago Silva just speaks for himself. Regardless of what manager is at Chelsea or what has been at Chelsea the last few years, you've got to think he is the first name on the team sheet, regardless of anyone else in this team. I'm not so hot on Fofana.
Really?
Player of the season, absolutely. Fofana, I know he's had his injury problems this season and last season and pretty much every season he's been a professional. I'm not that hot on him, you know. I maybe it's a case that he hasn't just shown his full potential at Chelsea yet, and I agree he's only really had sort of half a season, but I'm not fully convinced. You know,
He's got all the tools needed. He just needs some time. We've got to remember he's only 22.
yeah. We were joking about contracts. You know, Wesley Fofana's contract runs out in 2029.
So you have to learn to love him then, because he's here to stay.
This is exactly
Honestly,
right.
looking at these contract lengths just amazed me. That I understand why UEFA changed their entire laws because of Chelsea. We're the lawmakers, you know, whenever there's a problem, Chelsea exploits it. They wrap up the loopholes. UEFA should really be, you know, thanking us for finding these terrible plot holes that we could exploit. Let's look at a few others though. Maybe two that will cause a bit of contention. Cesar Azpilicueta and Kalidou Koulibaly. Campfire Seb, where do you stand on one of the best buys of the Premier League era in Cesar Azpilicueta, who is sort of coming to the end of his shelf life?
Well, he is a captain. He is a terrific person to just have in the locker room. I have to say locker instead of dressing. That's just, you know. And he's, I think, got 1 year left on his contract as well.
Yep.
And so we will keep him for that, just like Thiago Silva, and hope that they can, you know, instill the Chelsea values into the younger guys who are coming through. So Cesar Azpilicueta, yeah, keeping him for his final year and hope he retires into the sunset.
Cool. SGFC Seb, you don't have any problems with Cesar staying on for another year as club captain?
I actually do. I think he's his time's up. Don't get me wrong, I love him to pieces. Chelsea just need to call him in and be like, look, wherever you want to go, we'll try and make it happen for you. Thank you for your service, and out you go. Our squad is massive. We've got to cut as everywhere. Like, he's taking up a squad space. He's barely going to be on the pitch. We've got to be brutal.
I get that, because yes, I mean, he managed still somehow he managed to play 25 Premier League games this season at the ripe old age. I say ripe old age as Zlatan retired at 41, but as Azpilicueta's 33, he still puts in the miles. And I mean, Campfire said made the great point, which I think a lot of people concur with, is that you're not keeping him for his playing ability at this point. You're keeping him for what he brings as a leader and as someone who's won everything with this club.
But it's when you do have to put him on the pitch. It's like the whole Ivanovic situation. Loved Ivanovic to pieces, but his final season, he was getting torn to shreds by every winger available. And unfortunately, Azpi's going down the same route, and he's almost like a liability on the pitch at this point.
Seb, just really, the poor guy, man. Azpilicueta is such a lovely bloke.
I love him. Like, when we first went to watch him, like, we fell in love with him because of his first touch.
Yeah, he had a great touch, to be fair.
But we've got to be brutal here. There's so many players that need to go. Anyone who isn't essential, I think, needs to be out the door.
I can't side with you here, Seb. I've got to go with Campfire and Todd over there.
We may also need to see if Mauricio Pochettino, when he comes in, can let us know what he thinks. But
I mean,
it's important. You know, I think Cesar Azpilicueta could kind of take on the role that new Labrador that they have at Arsenal does. You know, something kind of like that, like make the players feel happy when he's around.
I mean, let's not compare the Cub captain to a dog. I mean, God, man, like.
But it's 2 against 1, so it looks like he stays.
Yeah, I think we've got to keep Cesar around, even if it's just for, you know, lapdog purposes. I think he's part of the furniture. Kalidou Koulibaly, been torn to shreds by a lot of pundits here in England. Not had a stellar first season in the Premier League, but I think some people make it out that he was just the worst defender the league's seen this season, when I think he's put in a decent shift when he's played.
Yeah, I agree. He's been fine. I think for at least for one more season, he needs to stick around just to have a bit of experience at the back, because apart from Thiago Silva, we've got nothing. So I think, yeah, while these other guys settle in, I think we need to keep him.
Okay. And Todd?
Yeah, I agree. His performances have been fine. Sometimes he's had rough days, but he was a stud at the World Cup for Senegal. So I would say we keep him because when we have injuries like we do to some of the players, you need someone to go there. And this is also about economics and finances. I don't think we're going to get much money in for him from anybody, and purchasing a replacement would be far too expensive at this point. We already did that with Badiashile and Fofana.
Yeah, I'm absolutely agree with both of you. I think we keep him around. He puts in a good shift. Someone I have issue with who is somehow still on the books at Chelsea, having been signed in 2015, is Abdul Baba Rahman. This guy, like I say, has been at the club for nearly 9 years now. Can either of you tell me how many games he has played for Chelsea in those near 9 years?
15?
9.
23 in all competitions, which is about double the amount I first thought. We're all happy to finally get rid of this guy. Yeah, 1 year left in his contract.
Gone.
We don't think he's going to get in over Colwill or anything like that.
No,
he's now
a bit of a late bloomer.
He is Chelsea's Phil Jones. Please finally leave.
Okay. Moving on, Malang Sarr, a player I forgot that Chelsea had been out on loan at Monaco this season. I'm going to leave it to you two on this one.
Sell
now.
Yeah,
cool.
Sell now.
Right, that was nice and easy. No problems there.
Hope
Lewis
we can get
Colwill
for him.
Levi Colwill, keep.
Keep him at the club. No more loans out.
Levi Colwill, we don't want to loan anymore. He either stays or Brighton give us a call and actually offer us the 40 million that people have been talking about, and then we can think about Levi Colwill. But very good player, very good for the future. Shouldn't be loaned. Should either be playing for us or making us money.
I agree. I think Chelsea have already rejected a £30 million bid, if I'm correct in saying. But I mean, if we're looking at the players that we're keeping there, we've got, Thiago Silva, Badiashile, Fofana, Koulibaly. Does Colwill play? Is my question here.
I think 5 centre-backs is right. I think he will play because we want to show that he's part of the future. I think they'll start off with Koulibaly and phase him out for Colwill, depending on performances. So, yeah, I think he'll get plenty of opportunity.
Trevor Chalobah. Anyone can make a case for Trevor staying at Stamford Bridge?
Okay, I've wait, look at this. This is more of a situation of what happens to others. If Kalidou Koulibaly if we can get a decent offer for him and he goes, then we have room for Trevor Chalobah. If Levi Colwill, if the money comes in for him, that's good. He can go. If Trevor Chalobah as well we get a good deal. I think this is more about one of them must go. So who first? And I think because these are not crucial starters in these positions, we can let this drag on throughout the summer if we absolutely have to, and wait for decent money.
Okay, so you're happy to keep him for now and then offload him down the road a little bit.
Yes, just to make sure that the 5 center backs is the maximum.
Okay, we'll put him in keep then. I guess. I'm not sure I agree. I was
going to fight against that. And just say, I think it'll be easier to sell Trevor than it will be Koulibaly. It's also free money because he was from the academy. I think out of all of them, he's probably the most likely one Chelsea will want to offload. And I'm happy. He's been fine, but I think there are better centre-backs there, and I'm happy for him to go.
Yeah, actually, you've convinced me. Let's sell him because Levi Colwill's the left-footed one, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes, and Trevor Chalobah's right-footed, and we already have Fofana.
Yeah.
And Badiashil's left-footed as well, but it's good to have two lefties.
Yeah, and Trevor, I mean, Seb said it. He's just been fine. Like the guy has. I don't know if he's really a centre back. I don't know if he's really a right back. I don't really know what he is. But he's an average Premier League player who's done well. He's done well to play as much as he has for Chelsea. But I just see him at a mid-level Premier League team, which I know Chelsea were last season. But I think I see him at somewhere like a Nottingham Forest. I think that's putting it nicely from me. So let's get rid of him. Ethan Ampadu, another one that I forgot Chelsea are still paying wages to on a weekly basis.
He can go.
Sell now.
Yep.
Perfect. I assume we're going to keep Malo Gusto, or do we want to loan him out for another season?
No, we need another right back.
He's cover for Reece James. That's why he's here.
Perfect. Yeah, it'd be really good seeing him in the Premier League. Not watched a lot of Ligue 1 this season, but has he been okay for Lyon this season?
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player.
Perfect. Good. That's what I want to hear. Mark Cucurella. Now, do we need left back cover that badly? Because I don't think we do.
This is
loan because he is at his absolute lowest in value that you get. I mean, compared to what he was 1 year ago, where Man City seemed to be chasing him, although I think we got honey potted on that one. I think they were actually not in negotiations at all, and we got taken for a ride in our first year doing transfer business. He needs to be sold, I think, but we will get nothing from him like this. So loaning him somewhere where maybe he can rebuild the reputation that he did build, and then hopefully we can get money from him. But there's no way we'll get what we need this summer from a sale.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, that was good.
I just find it amazing that Chelsea are in the position where we're going to loan out a £60 million player who's got a 6-year contract at Chelsea. It's just,
this whole £60 million thing. I'm just gonna put some in my defense. I just always, I thought the dollar was the strongest worldwide currency, and that 65 million was actually 30 million. That's, when Thomas Tuchel reminded me that's when I fired him. So,
Okay. And Amari Hutchinson has had a few games this season, but I assume we're all happy to loan him out and give him some experience.
Yes.
Loan him to 24-hour fitness where he can spend a lot of time lifting heavy things and getting bigger.
Yes, that's a good plan.
Cool. Or as we would call it in the UK, pure gym. But yeah, the same logic applies. Midfield. I assume Enzo Fernandez. We're happy with his performances so far. We're not going to try and recoup some money there.
No,
he's a star.
Yeah, putting him in untouchable. I don't care what anyone else says. One of Seb's favorite players, Conor Gallagher, SGFC Seb, that is. Where do you want to put him before we try and talk you into some logic?
Sell.
Or maybe not.
He has to go. It will get good money for him, and he's done basically nothing apart from cardio.
Campfire Seb / Todd Bowley.
I think this is I would leave this one to Pochettino, because this is a player who he does a lot for a team, and he hustles more than anybody else out there. So he seems very, very useful. He has our goal of the season back against Crystal Palace. Nice to see. There
weren't many to choose from, let's be honest.
So I think this is a keep for Pochettino, but sell if Pochettino doesn't really feel he needs him. And as you say, we get good money back from him. This is kind of like a Trevor Chalobah keep, but be open to sell.
Right. I mean, I think what we're doing here is we're making this team for Pochettino. We're giving him a few less problems. I think we've still got a couple of weeks till he actually starts. And I think Conor Gallagher is the kind of player that Pochettino would want. Hardworking, unbelievable work rate. The stamina on the kid is phenomenal. And I know Seb thinks he doesn't actually do anything. I think he is, I'm going to say it, and this is going to be on the internet for a long time. I think this is a player that you build a team around. Yeah, you can walk off. That's fine. But no one embodies the spirit of playing football and fighting for the badge as much as I've seen from Conor Gallagher. You know, he puts in good tackles. He progresses play. I'm happy with him allowing Fernandez to sit and be a DM, or whoever we get as a DM, and let Gallagher do all that legwork that Kante used to do.
I've never been angrier at a statement in my life. Build a team around Conor Gallagher. Are you insane? Yes. You say that about like Messi and Ronaldo, not about Conor effing Gallagher.
Conor Gallagher's the same level. Don't get me started. You know, Messi's currently going to be playing Inter Miami, okay, who are bottom of the MLS conference, as far as I'm aware. You know, on a side note, can you imagine Lionel Messi getting managed by Phil Neville before he got sacked? That would just be the biggest travesty in football ever. But Conor Gallagher's, he's going keep. He's a good boy, and I like him a lot. And I don't care what SGFC Seb thinks. He's my boy. Let's move to Lewis Hall, the CM playing left back for the first team.
Loan.
Yeah, I agree with the loan. He's a very good player for the future. He seems to have a lot of different abilities, and he's got a good character. I like that about him. So get some more experience, come back, and hopefully replace Badiash or Kalidou Koulibaly or someone.
Sounds good to me. I'm just going to throw Kante in the sale now because that has already been done. He has gone to Saudi club Al Ittihad with Benzema, 2-year deal, 100 million euro salary a season. Can you blame him? No, not at all.
No. Hopefully he goes out, had fun.
Let's talk Mateo Kovacic. Man City apparently in ongoing discussions with him for a transfer between 30 to 40 million. My theory behind this is if Man City are after him, surely Chelsea can make him an integral part of a midfield.
The thing is, he would suit Manchester City, but he's been fine for Chelsea, but his lack of end product is a problem for us, where it won't be for Man City because they've got it all over the pitch.
But
so
are you using Mateo Kovacic for end product? I'm using him for hard midfield work.
Chelsea needs end product players. That's our problem right now. Whereas Man City don't. They need someone who can get it to these players, and Kovacic is that guy. And if we're getting the money back that we paid for him, I'm fine with this. Sell.
Okay, Campfire Seb.
Ooh, this one, if the money with the guy 1 year out from his contract is in the 40 million range, we accept it. We're chasing City more in the long run with a project with young players. But Mateo Kovacic is a wizard. He is, as we say, one of the most press-resistant players that we have. So if the money is not really good, I'd say we keep him. But this is a question of money. I don't think this is a question of Pochettino. This is just a special player, and if we want to keep him, we keep him. But if we want the money, then we take that. So I'm sort of open with this one.
I think let's put him in the sale. I think Chelsea are going to be having a knock on the door from the FFP police at some point. So it might be worth balancing at least part of the book. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Some describe him as the ultimate utility player. Some describe him as a player with no position. Campfire, how are we feeling about the once prodigal Ruben Loftus-Cheek?
Well, from the looks of it, judging by his body language at the end of the last match, I think he's decided he's going to be going, which is a shame because he is the nicest boy that we have, and that includes all the way down to the 5-year-olds in the academy. Ruben is an absolute stand-up character, and we'd be sad to see him go if that's his choice. But as you say, he can play all 13 positions on the field, including the left and the right bench. So he's a guy that we would love to keep, but it seems as if he's already made his mind up to go.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? We expected so much from him. And there were parts, especially under some of the old coaches, that he was starting to show what he could have been. But I think his time has come and gone.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking
I'm
of
gonna
time
say
come and
something.
gone.
I am going to break my Todd Bully character and put my Sebastian North hat on real quick. This is the saddest one to me. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is the one who, when I saw him breaking through, when I first saw videos of him breaking through and just highlights of what he did in the youth academy, I was like, this is the guy. He is going to be outstanding. And as he got older, even with all those appearances he was getting in the early days when he was first getting minutes, and it was so clear that if he just kept going, he could be one of the outstanding players for a decade. But the injuries were difficult, but then I think something happened along the way where no manager was able to, I think, get his confidence going to the point where he was like functioning as he could, it's just so sad because I think he was the player of all the ones from the academy, maybe with the most potential of anybody. And so it's just like, and it might just happen in 2-3 years, he could be outstanding, so that one's just bitter for me, but okay. I'm back.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see where he ends up, but yeah, I fully concur. Such a good character, great footballer who just didn't quite reach that peak.